Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Isn't it a beautiful day? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is John Barber, and I am the president of the Dr. Gertrude A. Barber Center and the Barber National Institute. And it is really a great privilege to have all of you friends here with us this morning for what is a historic day in the life of the Institute. It is all about Dr. Barber, Nancy. And you know, it's very appropriate that this day occur here in the very buildings which she created with her own imagination, her own mind, and her own mission. We are less than a block away from the home in which she grew up. And as they said of Christopher Wren, if you seek Dr. Barber's monument, just look around you. But even more important, if you seek the spirit of Dr. Barber, visit one of our classrooms. Have dinner in one of our group homes. Visit one of the 400 businesses in which her special people are employed. Walk the streets of the city of Erie, and you will see an acceptance of people who at one time were unwelcome, and an integration into the life of the community for everyone. So we have a very exciting day, and I want to introduce to you some of the people who are going to speak this morning. First, we have the Most Reverend Lawrence Persico, Bishop of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Erie. We have Monsignor Ed Losi, the Vicar General of the Erie Catholic Diocese, and Monsignor Tom McSweeney, the postulator of the cause for Gertrude Barber. We have Mayor Joe Schember and his wife, Rhonda Schember. You should know that Joe and Rhonda are this morning, as they have done for the last 35 years, acting as Mr. and Mrs. Claus for our school children. And so they've taken 10 minutes out to be with us, and thank you so much. We are also going to hear from three friends of Dr. Barber, who knew Dr. Barber, who loved her, and who really illustrate why we are gathered here today. It's Nancy Darker, Mr. Ray Crawford, and her very good friend, Carol Reynolds. So they have shared their feelings in a very brief video that we are now going to watch.
Do you remember how you met her?
When I got the poke. I hope you guys don't ever have to experience that. Yes, I live in a group home and it's a very nice home. And I got excellent staff. She was a good friend of mine. I saw that picture on my nightstand.
Do you go up to the statue and talk to it sometimes and see her?
I give her a kiss and a hug. She made me come independent.
I was in Emmitsburg first. That place was like pretty bad. I got beat up twice. I do think about her sometimes, yep, I do. I miss her a lot, and I say prayers to her. I say prayers to her all the time. Oh, 1987, wow. There she is with the little kids. There she is.
After from Evans State School, came to Erie. I lived in 3 group homes, found my own home, and it was my dream home. She was almost like a mother to me. She told me to keep my chin up, keep smiling, and keep thinking. Right now, if she was here in front of me, and I know she's looking down, she will pat me on the back, we'll get a hug and say, "You did a good job." She'd be very proud.
Carol, Ray, and Nancy, would you stand up so we can applaud for you? You know, Dr. Barber, during her lifetime, was honored by virtually every secular authority in America. She served on the Committee for Intellectual Disability that was established by John Kennedy when he was the president. She worked with Eunice Shriver. And when George Bush was the president, she was invited to the Rose Garden for the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act. But it all emanated from her very strong faith, the faith that she grew up with and that she learned as a child and in her education at St. Anne's School. And so now it is my very high privilege to introduce to you the Bishop of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Erie, Lawrence Persico.
Thank you, John. Good morning to everyone. It's wonderful to be here at the Barber National Institute, surrounded by the supporters, family members, and admirers of Dr. Gertrude A. Barber, a woman who inspired so many during her lifetime. I'm especially happy to see the beautiful faces of children, adults, and their family members who continue to benefit from the vision and commitment of Dr. Barber, whose life work was driven by her abiding faith in God. And so, it is with great joy that today I announce I have issued a decree opening the cause for canonization of Dr. Gertrude A. Barber. Is that it?
I'd like to call on Rita Geiger, Nancy Darker, Ray Crawford, Carol Reynolds, and Irene Samaric to come forward and receive this decree.
This is the decree. It starts the cause for the canonization of Dr. Barber. Okay? Good.
So if you turn around, let's turn around and can we take some pictures, Mary? Here, Nancy, we need to get you up front a little bit, Nancy. Thank you.
I consider it a true honor to open this cause for possible sainthood for Dr. Barber. I know we are all thrilled to be part of this historic moment, but I am particularly pleased that the good works of Dr. Barber, undertaken on behalf of those in need, will now be fully known by those throughout our region and beyond. Although I did not have the opportunity to meet Dr. Barber before she went on to her eternal reward, I certainly heard about her good works and faith commitment from my earliest days in the Diocese of Erie. It has been my privilege to visit the Barber National Institute on several occasions and to offer Mass here. I know the Barber family and the staff remain deeply committed to carrying out the mission she established. The Barber Institute has created a website with wonderful information about their founder, as well as details about the canonization process. I will simply tell you the first step in the process was the establishment of the Association for the Cause of Gertrude A. Barber, a public association of the faithful, in August 2019. The association formally submitted a petition to me for the cause in October, and I issued the decree granting that petition and opening the cause last week on the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. I'd like to take an opportunity to introduce Monsignor Thomas McSweeney, the former director of the Office of Evangelization for Communications, who has been named as the diocesan postulator for the cause. He will help guide the association through the first steps of the investigation, and his contact information will be available online and in our parish bulletins. Keep in mind, the Church thinks in terms of centuries. To be very honest with you, this is likely the beginning of a decades-long effort. Also, I would like to introduce Monsignor Edward Losey this morning, our Vicar General. His expertise as a canon lawyer and commitment to this effort has been invaluable. And so, let us take tremendous joy in this wonderful moment today, one that we shall surely remember for the rest of our lives. May we use it to find inspiration in the work each of us has been called to carry out in our daily lives. It is now my pleasure to welcome Dr. Barber's nephew and the president of the Barber National Institute back to the podium. John?
Thank you, Bishop. You know, I think that many of us grew up reading about saints, hearing about saints, and they all seem to be people who lived long ago in places that were very far away. And we might ask, I mean, could there have been a saint that lived among us and whom we personally knew? And I would say that the answer to that is yes. You know, what made Dr. Barber different? You know, it's all about the miracles. It's about the small miracles, maybe finding a first friend, maybe having a nice home to live in. It's about the big miracles, maybe buying your own home, maybe taking your first step, maybe a child being able to speak for the first time and say her mother's name. And Dr. Barber made all of this possible at a time when the accepted and conventional wisdom was that her special people really didn't belong in our neighborhoods and really should be put away and locked away by themselves. But she saw that there was an injustice in that. And Dr. Barber was not the kind of person who loved from afar and loved kind of ethereally. She loved people up close and personal. So she looked at the people in her own neighborhood. She saw the parents who had children who lived in her own town, in her own neighborhood, and she said, I'm going to do something to change what the world is now. And so she borrowed a room at the YWCA, and she started her own school. She didn't wait for the governor to act. She didn't petition Congress. She didn't wait for the president to do something. She went ahead on her own and started. And because she did that, eventually there was a sea change in the way that the entire United States looks at this. And now her philosophy is the accepted philosophy for the country and for the world. And it all starts with just one person taking action, one person loving not from afar, but up close and personal and willing to do something about it. You know, many of the parents, when Dr. Barber began as a school teacher, felt that if there was a child who had a physical disability or an intellectual disability, that it was pretty much the end of the line and the end of the world. But it's not, and Dr. Barber knew that. And so she built hope. And I want to introduce to you now one of those parents, the mayor of the city of Erie, the Honorable Joseph Schember.
Good morning, everyone. I'm honored and very pleased to be here. I know that I don't have to tell any of you what a great person Dr. Gertrude Barber was, because I know all of you have experienced it as well, and she is really incredible. What I'd just like to share with you a little bit is how my life was transformed. When I was 35 years old, my wife Rhonda and I, we found out a week before they were born, Rhonda was pregnant with twins. And the twins were born, and we were told then, again, this is 34 years ago, you know, the doctor, it was a boy and a girl. Our son Joe, the doctor talked about our son Joe and told us about him. And I'm sitting there wondering, what about our daughter, Jody? You know, and finally he got to Jody and said, you know, she's got some problems. You might want to put her away. And we're like, what the heck? Jody was born with Down syndrome, and I knew nothing about that, to be very honest. I mean, I knew the Barber Center was here. I knew nothing about the incredible work that's done here. I went to my parents that night. Rhonda, of course, stayed in the hospital. I went to my parents, spent the night there, got up the next morning, and at breakfast with my parents, I hadn't talked to them yet, because by the time I got there, it was very late, and they were asleep already. But at breakfast, we had a nice bacon and eggs, and I was trying to tell them about what had just happened, and I could not stop crying. I'm 35 years old. I knew there was something different about our daughter. The way the doctor presented it, it was like there's something wrong with her, and we may have to put her away. And I could not, during that breakfast, I could not stop crying, trying to tell my parents about it. But within weeks, our daughter was here at the Barber Center, thanks to Dr. Barber. And we learned an incredible amount. And I can tell you, at age 34, Our daughter Jody still lives with us. We still love her. She loves us. We have a great family relationship. And I'm very proud that our other two children, she has an older daughter, Jamie, and her twin brother, Joe. And about 20 years ago, I got to thinking, boy, if something happens to Rhonda and me, who's going to take care of Jody? So I started to go through, the lawyers in the room will understand, all the legal process of setting things up. And our kids at that time were off in college, and they heard what I was doing, and they immediately called me and said, Dad, stop what you're doing, because if anything happens to you and Mom, we're going to take care of Jody. And the close family that we have is incredible. Jody is a very important part of it. And again, this building is incredible. It wasn't here. Where we are now wasn't here when Jody first started. But what Dr. Barber did, I don't think there's going to be any problems finding miracles that she's accomplished, because I can tell you I'm one of the miracles, because I wouldn't be the person I am today without Dr. Barber and the great staff here at the Institute. So I'm honored to be here. Thanks everyone for being here. This is a great crowd. And as I said at the beginning, I know each and every one of you knows Dr. Barber like I do and really values. At this point, I will turn it back over to John Barber. John.
Dr. Barber never accepted an honor in her own behalf, and she always said, I will accept the honor, I will accept the award, but I am accepting it only as a stand-in for my children and adults. And you all know that Dr. Barber loved music, she loved children, and we have both with us today to put to a close this wonderful ceremony. And so I would like to introduce the children of Julie Moore's classroom and her very excellent and remarkable choir. To close, we have one more song, but before we do, I want to introduce to you Dr. Barber's oldest friend, Irene Samarick.
everybody. What a beautiful day to come together to celebrate and honor the life of Dr. Barber. We all have many precious memories how Dr. Barber touched our lives. And today, in the presence, and we have the honor of being with Bishop Persico, with Father Losig, with Father McSweeney, and of course with our president, and all you lovely people who are friends of Dr. Barber and know what Dr. Barber has done throughout her life. We have many, many precious memories, and we give grateful thanks to Almighty God for giving us Dr. Barber, for all that she has done to bring the lives of persons with disabilities out of the darkness into the light. Dr. Barber was inspirational in life and became an enduring legacy in a legacy of love. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene.
Thank you, Irene. I know that we are streaming this event live on the internet, and to all of our staff throughout Pennsylvania who are watching this, I want to thank you for everything you do every day. I know that Dr. Barber would say that you are the most special of people and that she is very grateful for everything that you do each and every day to make the lives of her people so much better. So thank you. And with your indulgence, I will also say hello to my grandchildren in Catholic school in Chicago. Madeline, Miriam, and John Finian, Barber, and Declan, Patrick, and Kieran O'Hare. I hope that you're still watching, and God bless you. It's been a wonderful day. There's one more song, a song that Julie Moore wrote for Dr. Barber and about Dr. Barber, and she's going to sing it. I hope that you can all join in, those of you who know it. And thank you. You can go on drbarber.org. That's where the cause for Gertrude Barber will be found. And you can see what activities we will be having going forward. I know the bishop says that this is a matter of decades and centuries, but it's possible that Dr. Barber will be the first layperson born in the United States, canonized by the Roman Catholic Church. And I would like to see that occur within the lifetime of the boys and girls behind us. And if we all work at it, it can happen. So, Julie.
There's a light on the shore of Lake Erie. Through the fog of ignorance, it shines. Where a future awaits every child, yours and mine, yours and mine. Building on the dream of Gertrude Barber, that for everyone there is a place. Knowing the light's always there to guide us on our way, on our way. And we'll celebrate what's different, knowing we're all the same. The dream of school and family has come true. You will learn
Thank you all very much. There are refreshments outside. I hope that you'll join us, and thank you for being here this morning.